everybody. It's Wrath Beaton here to show you some more tips and tricks on how to play Rise of Queendom. It is an awesome day this morning. Woke up kind of late, so if I'm a little groggy or slow, please bear with me. But I want to thank everybody who's followed me. It's really awesome because still just starting our little community here, and I'm really excited to see how much it grows. Last week, we talked about everything for getting started in the game, your daily run-throughs and everything, and as you can see, I really haven't done anything on the game this morning except sign in, but I do want to go through some other parts of the game with you. That way you can have a much better idea of what's going on. I want to start today actually with your profile. So if you actually click your profile picture, you get your profile. So you can change your picture by hitting the edit profile. After you get to level 3, you can post your very own picture, whatever you want from wherever on the internet. It's all good. You get your system. As you can see, there's not really that many male pictures that you can choose from until you unlock the heroes. So here are the hero pictures. One of my favorite heroes is actually Wei Zifu, but because I'm playing a male character, I'm gonna stick with a male profile picture just because it's less confusing to people for somehow. If you go up here to scenes, you can change your scene. I don't really own any, but let's take a look. I like changing the scene from time to time because it helps give you a better feeling of what's going on. So we're actually going to buy this one today. Full moon. It looks awesome. Let's go change our costume real quick. If you hit the costume, it will show you all of the costumes that you have, starting with all your completed ones first. And you can tell if it's a costume that will have your little character all wearing the costume by if it has that little green running man by the costume name. And unfortunately, not all costumes have the little running green man. So, let's see. Everybody seems to be wearing the purple costume lately, which is fine. It's not my favorite. Actually, currently, the Crimson Koi is my favorite, and my in-game wife is wearing the matching costume, which I think is really awesome. If you want, you can add a frame. I do not buy these frames because of how much gold they cost. If I want to spend 888 gold, I'm probably going to go and spend it in the nursery to make my kids better. I don't have any of the footprints currently. Typically, you get these footprints from achievements in events and some other places. There are a few that you can earn by completing certain goals or trophies. Unfortunately, We just don't have any of those at the moment. One of the other things is you can check your social. So you can see which faction you're in, your marriage, and anyone in the game can see this information. All you have to do is go to their profile page, click their social button, and bada bing, bada boom, it's all there. Then you can check your property, which will show you how much charm you have, which it's good to keep your charm high because the higher your charm, the higher your benefits are. Silver, you use that for a few different things in the game. When you become emperor, you can use it during worship to actually increase the gifts and prizes that everybody gets for doing worship with you. Fame actually helps when you're in the promotion phase, and for whatever title you currently own, the higher your fame, the higher you are in your title level. And the first 3 with the highest fame in each title level actually get special additional benefits. Your faith is actually money you earn from doing your palace travel and Lord Chaos. Your summon orders you're going to use for summoning heroes. You're also going to use it to purchase heroes from the summon shop, which I like to keep as many summon orders available as possible, just in case we get that rare hero in the summon shop. The Nectar Points you're going to use to get flowers in your mansion area. And with these flowers, you plant them, you grow them, you send them to your lover or to your playmate, and it increases your charm, it increases your intimacy, and it's all really pretty cool. Your faction contribution. You're going to use this so that you can level up your skills within your faction. You can also use them in the faction shop to buy special bonuses that you can use during faction raids. And then the Dragon Jade, you're always going to use your Dragon Jade to appease or interact with the you're going to use it to interact with the nobles in the noble celebrities in your faction. And I'll be able to show you some of that later. I think we've already... So, you also have your life tab. This is going to show what level you are with each of your crafting items. Right now, I'm pretty even in every level except for cooking. I can change that. You go to cook from here, and you can cook whatever it is you want or need. And that's how you're going to level up, like we just saw. And sometimes it's easy to level up in cooking because you have to make sure that you have the right ingredients. If you don't have the right ingredients, you can always go, oh, how do I obtain this ingredient? Click obtain by gardening in mansion. And the fun thing is, it actually will go to whichever collecting thing is there. Unless it's the garden for me, for some reason. So if you go to the garden, we're going to collect everything real quick. It will have everything that's available to you. So, we were going for peanuts. There we go. Now everybody's collecting peanuts. Now, you can always change who is doing the collection. I always use my gold heroes first because they give you the biggest time decrease. So if I remove, and there you go, decreased by 11 minutes. Whereas if I put her back, reduced by 12 minutes. Actually, really easy, really simple to follow. If you look, my flowers are ready to collect, so collect those real quick. And you can plant individually by hitting plant, or if you hit quick, it will just fill all of your little partiers. You can also see what's going on with your air. So I've already collected my first fertility flower, but let me go ahead and show you where you can get your fertility flower. Go from Mentality Hall to the Royal Garden. Go right over here. This seems to be the default for entering the garden, especially during special events. So, when you want to get your fertility flower, you'll come over here to the sacrifice table where the big Buddha is, and you'll tap on it, and then you can pray to the Buddha so that you can get your fertility flower. From there, once you've gotten the prayer high enough, it will automatically jump to a cutscene where Dr. Song and your wife or husband will be with you, and he'll tell you how to care for the fertility flower. From that, it will jump to your nursery, which I'm going to jump right now. So when you get your fertility flower, you get this cute little flower like you have right here. You're going to click on that, and it looks like we've already rubbed today, but I'll show you how it works real quick. It says Sleight of Care, so it basically pets the flower. So if you post in your faction that you need help with your flower, you'll click invite, share to faction, it automatically shares to faction. If you click share to miscellaneous, it shares to the world. And then share to friends, you get to pick who you want to invite to your nursery, which is really lots of fun, because when you invite people to your nursery, you kind of end up with a little party going on. Like here we have some of the people from my faction caring for the flower, and it looks like somebody else in the faction needs help caring for their air. So to help people care for their air, you just click the help button. Oh, wait, that's me. Ha ha ha. Okay, nix. There we go. So, to help care for their air, you just click help and it takes you directly to the air. And you just pat, pat, pat the flower, and it increases the labor points. And once you hit the max labor points, you get your newborn baby and you get to name it. Only will pop on one parent. So typically beforehand, I like to talk to my partner to see what they want to name the baby, because if the flower pops open on me, I don't want to name it something that my partner's going to hate. And in general, I just find it to be common courtesy to talk to your partner about what you're going to name the kid, because people come up with some pretty crazy names in the game for these kids. I've actually seen one named Cannibal. I've also seen one named Noodles. There's Taco Cat. All sorts of fun, crazy names. And the thing is, the heirs actually have their own little competition going on. They do their own thing, and it's actually really cool because you get to send the kids to school now. They go out adventuring on their own. You can earn titles for your kid the same way you can earn titles for yourself. And I find it really, really, really cool because all it does is kind of give you bragging rights, which bragging rights are bragging rights, and they kick butt. Last thing, you get these special titles or whatever you want to call them from the personality test. You can do the personality test, retake it at least once a day. And I'm still having fun trying to figure out which series of answers gives which titles. So I will typically just go through randomly, hitting each one until I come up with one. I am actually going to try to figure out what each title requires, what the answer process has to be, and hopefully I'll be able to put together a nice spreadsheet or guide that helps you get each and every one of these little titles, because after you get each title, you also get trophy points. So you go into honor, you click alias, that will show you the alias you can use. Okay, they're not titles, they're aliases. Sorry! But if you look, certain aliases will actually give you certain attributes, which I call those my mini bonuses, because they're really cool to have, and as long as you keep them around, it works. It actually can help give you that edge that you need if you're facing someone who you maybe don't know or can't defeat as easily. And then you also get your little encounter trophies. Each alias has its own encounter trophy. The thing about the encounters is they don't tell you what you have to do to get the encounter trophy, so you kind of have to be random with the game, which I don't mind being random with the game. And I am actually working on a complete list of all the encounter trophies you can get. I'm about halfway done with it because I've been getting help from other people sending me screenshots of their encounter trophies. So that's going to be available to Patreons. It's not going to be expensive. Once I get it set up, it's probably going to be like $1 a month or something, because it's one of those things that I feel needs to be available to other players, but also at the same time, because I'm the only one who's actually put this stuff together, I kind of want to use it to help me build my following, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you today, go up here to your Fun tab. You're going to find where it says Etiquettes. Now, Etiquettes is basically manners. It's going to test your knowledge, it's going to test your skill and wits, but it's also going to test how well you can follow directions. So, this is a little story part of etiquette, and basically you have to choose the right answer. And I think it's the Kushin Okay, no, it's the Koji Tarot. So, I'm sorry I let you down, and story failed. It's okay. Failing a story does not use any of your music points. I don't know why they're called music points, but it does make it, since it's typically one or two answers, it's typically about 50-50. You can get through the story parts really easily, except for the butterfly. Everybody hates the butterfly, but I've actually figured out a trick for the butterfly. I'll show you that right after I show you how to get the best in etiquette. So as you can see, you have yourself, and then you have the two best scores. You can actually click on the best score to see the person, see which dignitary they invited, and what costume pieces they wore. This typically really helps, especially if you're trying to be on top, because you can see what everybody else wore and put together. So, so you'll follow the storyline. I typically read through the first time, but I really want to show you how to get these working. So here are the noble celebrities. And as you can see, they have this little circle thing that will tell you what their talents are. The trick is, when you're doing etiquette, you want to pick up the highest score for each part. So, aura and talent. Beifeng has 200 aura, 320 talent, while Farong has 540 talent and 360 aura. So we're going to use Huang Farong for this particular etiquette. And I'm going to go ahead and invite her. And then here are your costume attributes. So it looks like we need cool and gallant. There are also secondary, tertiary talents that you can use, but the only way to know what those are is to actually go through the scoring process. But if you pay attention to the two primary ones, you can typically get a fairly high score. So I'm going to start with hair. I always do this piece by piece because the costume altogether typically does not give you the highest score. It may give you a passing score, but not a high score. So the high score actually helps you be more competitive within the etiquette part of the game. So right now, cool, gallant. Let's check cool first. So looks like isolation hair is going to be the coolest hair. But you'll also see where it says gallant. Under the attributes, you can see what the score is for each piece of the costume that you are wearing. This will help you so much. I've actually sat here 20-30 minutes at a time sometimes trying to put together the right costume to get the highest score out of everybody else in the game. And I typically do it by hand, but that's me. I always have a pad of paper and a pen next to me, especially when I'm gaming, because I make all these little notes and such. And people say I'm really organized. No, I'm not really organized. I'm just really good at knowing what's going on within my chaos. So, because isolation seems to have the highest score, yeah, has a high gallant and cool. Which one? 840 and 120. So you can choose isolation or moonlight. You'll get the same score here. So we're going to go with isolation just because I think the white hair looks cool. And we'll go through each costume piece and we'll throw it on. That's 900. And now we're going to stick with grief here. I know you're like, why do dudes wear makeup? But in the game, I think it's just easier to stick with makeup for which face are you wearing. Because if you've ever paid attention with your girlfriends or anything, they're like, oh, I have to put my face on, and they're putting on their makeup, which is kind of funny because there are some people who refuse to leave their home without makeup on, which I think is funny because I very rarely wear makeup personally. But you know what? Some people, they think they need the makeup to be beautiful. I think people are beautiful based on their personality. It's more about, do you take care of yourself? How do you treat others? Because otherwise, I don't think it's really a big deal whether or not you're wearing makeup. I mean, if you want to look nice for yourself, go for it. I don't care if you're a guy, a girl, whatever. Even if you decide, even if you're gender neutral, if you want to wear makeup when you go outside, go for it. But do it more for you, not for everybody else. Okay. Enough of my side rant. We're going to get scored here. You can see that one of the hidden attributes was shoot, I forgot it already. It's okay. It's always easy to rerun. So, go through the story. And the higher your score, the better. And I'm about to show you why. Go down here to Etiquette Rankings. You open that up. Whoever is number 1 in Etiquette ranking gets this really cool set of stuff. You get your costume advance packs. You also get your ceremony box. Fun thing about the ceremony box, you get a piece of a special costume, and they have 3 costumes total that have these special pieces. And you can only collect these pieces one by one. I've tried to collect them more than one by one, and it just doesn't happen. Now, if you get second, third, you get a small ceremony box, which will give you maybe the regular ceremony box, but it's kind of rare. It will also give you these costume gems for upgrading, and then also these costume books for upgrading. Gonna show you how we take care of that real quick. Jump out of Etiquette. We're going to go straight into our costume tab again. Now, there's a couple things you can do with costume. First, your wardrobe. That's every costume that you own, every piece that you own. If you go to the shop, you can get these outfits. Now, I've actually done the math on these costumes. It is cheaper to buy the entire costume than to buy each piece individually. And that's one of those things that people don't realize. So they end up buying each costume piece one at a time. So do keep in mind, just save up those little rainbow crystals so you can buy the costume outright instead of having to spend all of your rainbow crystal buying each piece at a time. You'll also use these rainbow crystals to purchase your air costumes. Yes, I said air costumes. Your kids can have costumes too. And they have matching costumes for the kids. Like they have the matching costumes for you and your wife or husband or partner in crime. Under the shop tab, it shows what you can purchase. You can also click the craft, and it will show you all the costumes that you can craft. As you can see, I've already completed 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. I've already completed 4 of the costumes that are available. What the? Oh, okay. Sorry. So, if you go down to Costume Enhance in Wardrobe, if you go into Costume Craft, it will take you to the same place. You're going to use your costume crystals to level up your costumes. So, while you're leveling, I recommend keeping everything at the same level as best you can for one specific reason. While you're leveling your costumes, you get perks. So if you go from your Enhance tab down to your perks, you can see that all the parts enhanced to certain levels will give you these little bonuses. On this account, everything's almost to level 8, so I'm about to unlock that tier 2. But it's really important to pay attention that all your costumes are the same level so that you can get your perks. I mean, if you're sitting there, all your parts are at 8, and you want to level each part up to 10 on its own real fast, go for it. Because you want to make sure that your costume is doing the most damage, the best ranking for you. Here's another part. You go over here to advance. I'm just going to start with the robes. These little costume books, you obtain these at each week from Etiquette, from how high you are in the scoring area. And you're going to use these books to actually increase what level your costumes are. So, as you can see, if we look at the robe here, when you advance it from very common to common, you see that little rating increase? It's over 100% more. It also increases your defense. So your costumes actually do have an effect on what your rating is, on how much damage you can do, on how much damage you can take. I find it very, very useful to advance my costumes the best that I can and I try to get the lowest costumes up to the higher levels first, because for some reason I feel like they actually have the highest benefits. And for the female costumes, I already have a spreadsheet completely prepared with all the costumes and what their score is. I need to add in the rating scores, but that should be pretty easy. It's just going to be long and tedious. Now, suppose you decide you want to wear a different costume. I'm showing you this for a reason. So, let's say I want to wear this costume. I hit save. Oh no! My rating went down! You go into Costume Enhance. You see what you're wearing. Do not worry about this. It is okay. Change your costume as much as you want, because guess what? You go to Inherit, you click the plus button. Hey, that's the hair I was wearing before. Click Inherit. My rating goes back up. This is very important to remember when you're changing your costume, because you can actually level everything up together, and it, as far as I can tell, it doesn't really decrease the level at all. So you can change your costume as much as you want. As you can see, you're going to end up using your silver to do the Inherit, but you're not going to have to go, oh, I'm only going to wear this costume because it's the only one that I have enhanced. You can actually go and change your costume. And one of the cool things is, with the perks, it's all parts enhanced. So as long as each and every part of the costume you're wearing is enhanced to the same level, you get your little bonuses. You don't have to wear the same pieces of the costume. If you want a different hairstyle, a different makeup or face style, you can do that, and it's not going to have a negative impact on your score as long as you inherit everything and just keep everything at the same level. So you can be creative with your costumes, and there's no negative side effect to it, which I really appreciate, because other games that I've seen, if you're not wearing all the same parts, if you're not wearing the parts to the same costume, you get no benefits. So this actually makes me really happy in this game, because I can wear whatever I want and still get all the benefits that I'm trying to get. Finally, we'll go down here to craft. Now, you're going to be collecting patterns to each costume as you play the game, as you go along, as you get promoted. And you'll want to craft each costume. One of the cool things about the costumes is once you have crafted every piece of a particular costume, you end up getting some bonus benefits. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I want to show you that. So, let me go here. And let's see. This one. Okay. This is lacking materials, but I'm going to go ahead and buy the materials to complete it. Let's see. I need 12. Okay. So you can outright buy the pieces, but I typically don't do this just because I like to use my